What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and alright, I'm finally doing it. If people were wondering, like, why aren't you including Miles Morales in your previous Buy or Sell movies? Although I did have him as a side character in my pitch for Amazing Spider Man 3, Craven's Hunt, but I had him as a side character. This is where I pitch Buy or Sell a Miles Morales live action Spider Man film. And there was a time where I thought this movie was impossible, where I thought a live action Miles Morales would not be something that Sony would entertain the pitch or an idea for a movie like this. But because I think the Spider-Verse animated movies have been such a hit, now audiences are aware of this character, that he exists. The Spider-Man games did such a good job of introducing Miles Morales into Peter Parker's story. I think people are smart now. People are aware and they're more willing to maybe hear something like this out. And so, you know what? I probably should have took the time to think about which actor would I cast as Miles Morales. Maybe you guys can help me in the comments below. Which actor should play Miles Morales in live action? Miles is half Spanish and he's half black. So keep that in mind. Let's make it happen. And I feel like that part of his culture should be emphasized. I feel like we should really play up the fact that his father is black and his mother is Spanish. One of the things that I love the most about shows like Miss Marvel and even the Black Widow movie, right, was the family dynamic. I mean, her family was kind of screwed up, but Miss Marvel's family, it was very fun. It was very funny to be with those characters, her mother, her father, her brother, and you wanted more scenes of them. You weren't bored when we had dinner scenes or we had scenes at the house. I want that same feeling for Miles Morales. I want to be at scenes with Miles at his house with his mother and father and really get to delve into not just the dynamics of the characters, but the fact that his mom's Spanish. Maybe she cooks some bomb ass Spanish food. Maybe she's always listening to crazy Spanish music. His father, being a cop, I think can make for some interesting dynamic as well, as far as him eventually becoming Spider-Man, and then his father, because it's his job, having to maybe hunt a new Spider-Man down or not trust a new Spider-Man. And I think Miles would make sense to be at a high school age, because at this point, when we get to the Peter Parker-ness of this movie, Peter's older, so Peter is past this point. I think having a new Spider-Man be in high school makes the most sense. Even Tom Holland's Spider-Man character is past high school age, so to have at least another Spider-Man character be back in high school, have that high school environment. I think it's also important that Miles is in a more urban high school so that we can get that side of a high school represented more, something that maybe I'm more familiar with. Miles becoming Spider-Man, he gets his spider bite in his solo movie. And I think also not just that, not just do we get time to deal with his origin and not just have it be some random side plot in someone else's movie. You deal with that, but you get to have him get bit by a spider in a brand new and different way. Look at how the Spider-Verse film did it. It was very creative. It was very cool. I loved how that was done. Something similar to that effect. And if people think, oh, we've already seen Peter Parker be bit twice by a spider. Sure. But this isn't Peter Parker, one. And two, we didn't see Tom Holland get bit by a spider. They just kind of told us. So really, it's been a little while since we've seen a spider bite, and it's a new character. Andrew Garfield needs to be the Peter Parker of this universe. I mean, could you do it with the Tom Holland movies? Or even the Tobey movies? I guess you could. It's not like I'm throwing it out there and saying, no, it's undoable if it's not Andrew Garfield. I just want more Andrew Garfield, right? So I love the idea of Andrew Garfield being in that mentor-like figure. I'd love him being the one, kind of like the Spider-Verse movies, just maybe Andrew's not as much of a loser Peter as the Jake Johnson one was. But, you know, the idea that Andrew's Peter is helping him, training him, showing him the ropes, helping him deal with his senses and his powers. Maybe even a scene of him swinging with this Miles Morales, swinging around, just showing him how to do it. But you got to create an excuse to get rid of Andrew Garfield. Not him dying or not something like that, but even if it's like the games where Andrew has to leave the state, has to go somewhere, has to deal with something. Or maybe if it's connected to the Sinister Six stuff, Andrew has to leave to deal with the Sinister Six stuff. Like that stuff is happening on a different universe. So while that's going on, Miles is the only Spider-Man left in this particular universe's New York. That works. That works. That's great. I'd like to see it. As far as villains go, I want to do more different villains for Miles. Like I don't want to do the Green Goblins and the octopuses and the lizards. Like I want to give Miles Spider-Man villains that, yeah, maybe Peter has fought, but not his most well-known or villains that you necessarily have to connect to Peter Parker. Like, for example, Mr. Negative. I have been really intrigued by the Mr. Negative villain after the Spider-Man games. I think he's very unique, especially his power set and how that would look visually on screen with the effects and everything that he could do. I would love to see Miles have to deal with the villain in that type of vein. And also, you got to have the Prowler. So the Prowler, I wouldn't make him the main villain because the Prowler should be a character that isn't 100% bad, but having the Prowler as Miles' uncle and having that dynamic of someone that's close to him in the family, or maybe you can play it up similar to how the games did it, where Prowler was more of somebody that just got caught up in some bad mess. So guys, yes, Miles Morales, I would make him at least one of Sony's priorities to do in the live action format, not some of their bullshit Madam Web. And remember, this was a long time ago. They're thankfully not doing it anymore. But remember where there was a script for an Aunt May, like as an agent movie back when she was younger and what, like, this is the type of stuff that Sony was talking about making. Come on, guys. Hire me and I could potentially save your Sonyverse. Let me know in the comments below, would you buy or sell in a live-action Miles Morales Spider-Man film? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.